Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Kevin. Kevin is from Wisconsin in the USA. So let's see what Kevin has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. Good.
Hello, Kevin. How are you?
Hello. I'm groovy.
How's your morning going so far?
Good. I woke up kind of earlier than I needed to be, and then I weeded.
Uh-huh.
I pulled some weeds out of the rocks.
Are you more of a day or night person?
I mean, I like to do things during the day, but I'm also a night owl, so it's a weird mix.
Uh-huh.
I prefer sunshine. I think I'm probably more of a daytime person.
I see. So, Kevin, tell me where you're from.
I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah. So I consider it like a mini Chicago. So you know where Chicago is? We're just north, straight north, about 2 hour drive. So
And that's the place where you're born and raised?
yep, been here my whole life.
Wow. So tell me something interesting about your town, about your city.
We have a really cool Frank Lloyd Wright art museum building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the museum itself is that interesting, but the building is great. They filmed part of Transformers 3 there. That's where like Patrick Dempsey lived.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of cool.
Wow. And
Yeah.
tell me, what do you do for work, for living?
Well, I have a hodgepodge of things. Do have a day job where I work for a spice company.
Mhm.
So, spices, seasonings, blends, extracts, all of your cooking and baking needs. Yes. But I also do, some online content creator. So there's that. And then I podcast, but I don't make a living doing it. That's just for fun.
I see. And then when I was checking your profile, you're a singer and an actor as well.
Yes, I do musical theater. I studied that in college and high school. And now I just audition and get into shows if I feel like doing a show.
In the place where you live, it's kind of, there are a lot of opportunities for that or not?
Because most people probably wouldn't think that because it's like Wisconsin. They're like, what happens in Wisconsin? But Milwaukee does have a lot of good opportunities. There's some professional theaters. There's some community theaters.
Mhm.
So there's always something that you can find and to audition for.
Amazing. Kevin, before we start our journey, Will in the Magic Box, I would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Something interesting. Oh, well, I I'm trying to think of something that nobody has ever heard before, something that you won't find by looking at my profile. Um, I can't wink with one of my eyes. So like,
What?
so like, I can do this one, kinda, but I can't do this one.
That's interesting. And
yeah.
when did you realize that you couldn't do with the other eye?
I don't know. Maybe I was probably talking to somebody and they're winking both eyes. I'm like, what? I thought you could only wink one eye.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes, I'm very nervous though too. I'm like, what am I gonna be asked? Oh my
You'll
god.
be fine,
Okay,
I'm
that'll be
sure.
fine. That'll be good.
Welcome, William, and the Magic Box. So I've got here my magic box full of questions. I'm just gonna play a song now just for us to relax a bit before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Yeah, you always can dance and make some noise. There we go. Kevin, before we start the game, during the journey, if it comes up a question that don't want to talk about some reason you don't want to answer, always
Okay.
can check. Okay?
Okay.
Right, let's go for the first question. Share with us a crazy story or a funny story that happened to you when you were a child at school.
A child at school. Oh my goodness. Well, I did used to climb on top of the school roof. I was a climber of a kid. So like I found this little corner on the playground where like I could get onto like a windowsill area, and then there was like kind of like some kind of thing on the side of the building that I could climb up on that. So I climbed up that and got on the roof. And it was a private school, it was a Catholic school. So across from the school was a church. And the priest was living there. He's like, there's a kid on the roof. And so I was like, run.
Did you like school?
I did. I had a really good time, especially in elementary and middle school. I was really great in English and spelling. I always won the spelling bees.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So math, not so much. I mean, I could, well, that kind of math I could do, but I was never like the biggest math person. So.
And you have siblings as well?
I have 3. I have an older half sister,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's me, and then I have a younger brother and a younger sister.
Wow. All of them, they live in the same town as you or not?
Yep, we're all close by.
See, very good.
Mhm.
Next question. Let's do it. Next. There we go. Next question is, what does success mean to you?
Oh, wow. This is something that I probably struggled with a lot because I've gone through funks where I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing what I want to be doing. Even now, like I feel like there's so much more that I'm not doing, but I think it's more about being happy
Mm-hmm.
in the place that you're in. It doesn't matter like how much money you make, how much you necessarily accomplish, as long as you feel like you are doing what you enjoy and finding opportunities to do what you enjoy. That's a success in my book.
Yes, I believe that success is personal, you know what I mean? I think people,
Mhm.
they, as you said, I think people, they can achieve anything that make them happy. That's it's the, this feeling of success. As you mentioned that, as you do different things. Let's say someone come up to you and say, Kevin, for now on, you just can acting, you just can, singing, or you just can modeling, or you can just do your podcasts. Just one career you could choose. Which one would be for now on? Forever.
Oh my gosh. I'd probably pick the podcasting one actually, because I get to talk about Charmed. That's a bunch of Charmed stuff behind me. That's like my favorite thing in the world.
Mhm.
And I am quite knowledgeable and pride myself on that knowledge. And it's just a passion. So getting to talk about it every week, all the time, and really break it down is so rewarding, and it just fulfills my soul so much. So I'd probably do that, which is weird because I even like 2-3 years ago I didn't even listen to podcasts.
Wow. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, as you mentioned about your podcast, said you're very passionate about it. So tell me when the idea started, how everything got together.
Yeah, so I was listening to other Charmed podcasts because I'm like, oh, this is something that I like. But I'm like, if I did a podcast that's Charmed, I wouldn't want to do another rewatch podcast because everybody does the episode by episode, break it down, which I like, but I wanted to do something different. So I'm like, oh, I have the Charmed novels. I always wanted to reread those. So let's go ahead and cover all of the published material in the Charmed universe and see how that goes and see if people are interested and bring those stories to the masses. So I started covering all 43 of the Charmed novels, and then now I'm doing the comic books. And we're moving on to all the other stuff, the magazines and the guidebooks and the Book of Threes, and it's fun. It's different.
And how often your podcasts come live on on your channel, and also what people, when they're going to watch it, what they're expecting to see, what they're expecting to get from the podcast.
Sure. Right now it's every week, every Friday it comes out. Before, the first season was bi-weekly. We did it every 2 weeks, but yeah, right now it's weekly. And yeah, we talk about the novels chapter by chapter, the comic books page by page. We break down the story for you. We analyze them. We have lots of fun special guests that are fans of the show. I also do bonus episodes where we pick a particular topic from the series and really get into the nitty-gritty, get into the details. I had one where I interviewed the owner of the actual Hallowell Manor, the house in real life. I've
Wow,
had some of the stars from the show on, and yeah, so it's real cool.
amazing. Okay. Next question is, what would be your ideal day?
Day or date?
Day.
Day. I would probably get some. I definitely need to be out in the sunshine. So I love to be walking around, enjoying a beach day. I would love Disney World. I'm one of those like Disney adults, but I love Disney World. Just being with friends, riding rides, eating good food. So that would be a good day. But if you want to do like half a day there, and then we can start walking through a park or getting in a pool. Yeah, and then just having the most delicious things fed to me.
As you mentioned about Disney words, you always been passionate, always be a big fan of Disney.
Yeah, it's something that was a staple in my childhood. I would grew up during the whole Disney Renaissance, so I think anybody in that generation is just ingrained with Disney, and I guess it's how you react to it that forms your relationship with it. But I was a theater person, so I always loved songs and I loved musicals and I loved the stories that were being told by Disney and the characters. So I'm just like, yes, I'm all about this. And it stuck with me. I have such a nostalgia, I have such a love. I continue to see every Disney movie that comes out. Um, so it's one of my greatest things.
I used to work for Disney Cruise Line actually a few years
Oh,
ago for Disney Dream.
yeah, okay. And I haven't done a cruise yet. I'm a pass holder at the park, Disney World, but I haven't done a cruise yet. So that would be really great.
Something interesting that I never thought in my life I would see one day. When I was before we went to the ship, we spent 3 days, in the parks. We spent 3 days like getting to know Disney and the Dutch and everything. And one of those days, we went to Magical Kingdom, yeah, and
Hmm.
we went behind the scene where everything. I couldn't believe, like I got to see everything behind the scene, like how they put everything together. I remember walking like big corridors and see those characters passing by, going to their places. I was like, oh my goodness. And people with headphones. It was amazing to
Yeah.
see. I never thought one day I would be able to see, before the magic happens.
So you're in the underground. You're in the
Yes,
underground.
and the
Yeah.
crowd. Yeah.
Yeah. All
It was
those.
something like, I was like, oh my goodness. And yeah, it was something to remember for sure.
Love that.
Next question. Let's do it. Okay, next question is, what 3 things are you most grateful for?
Okay. Well, I am grateful for my quality of life right now. I'm I'm very financially stable right now, which is very good because I don't have to worry. I can just live and be. That's great. I'm grateful for the family that I do have. And my dad was in jail recently. He got out because he was innocent and he was just being held, so that was a whole thing.
Amazing.
um and this was a really hard year for me because I lost my mom this year in
Oh,
February.
oh, wow.
And so it's been a really rough few months, and so the little good things that happen uh have been nice, and it's nice that I can remember my mom and the good things, and great, happy that she was in a good place when in this state of her life. She knew who we were. She didn't have any Alzheimer's or anything like that, so she was happy with how her life was. It's just sad. uh
Oh,
uh yeah, thank you. I try not to bring it down too much, but it's been hard. um that's another thing that I'm grateful for. I am grateful for the house that I live in. I don't have to pay rent. And as I get this whole house, I get this room to be nerdied out and put all my action figures around me and all the things that I love. So yeah.
if you can talk about, when you think about your mom, what's the best memory that comes to your mind? Like something that you go like, you know what, it's a moment that's always going to have a special place in my heart. I'm sure there are lots, but there's something that comes to your mind right now.
I always think about it's a repeated thing, but it's something that I always remember. It's just when she dropped us off at school,
Mhm.
um, just the way that she's like, "Give me a kiss," and we would always be happily, willingly give her a kiss before we leave for school, before we go to bed at night. Um, and that was something that I always felt was very comforting, and it was really nice to know that she was there and to show that we loved each other all the time. Um, and I never stopped. I never grew out of that. Even as I got older, I'm like, no, I'm gonna continue to kiss you. I don't care what my friends think.
Oh, wow.
So that was really nice. And then I was like walk her to her car, just having the moment like when she hung out with me,
Mhm.
um, to like walk her to her car at night to as she went home, and I held her hand and made sure she was, having a good stroll, and yeah, those things.
Very sweet, very sweet. I'm sure wherever she is right now, she's smiling, just knowing that you are saying
Yeah,
those beautiful words.
yeah.
Next question, ready?
Yes.
Let's do it. Next one. Before the next question, tell me, for you, how was growing up as a gay boy? Did you have the support of your family? And also, tell me how is being gay in your town?
Actually, I'm bisexual.
Okay.
So, um, and that was weird because growing up, I remember being conflicted by things. I know how I was supposed to act, and I'm like, okay, I do kind of have those feelings for girls, but then I'm like, but I kind of like have these feelings for guys and boys too. But I'm like, maybe that's just a curiosity. Maybe that's just something that it happens with puberty, and you have like this little these little phases. So I'm like, maybe I'll grow out of that. But so I was just trying to rationalize it in my brain,
Mhm.
um, and I didn't really talk about it. I kept it to myself. I had a few like experiences with friends where I'm like, that was interesting. That was unique, a little scary. What? um, so I guess like there's little
Mhm.
experiences along the way that kind of informed that. But as I got older, I didn't have any relationships or anything in high school, but I had a girlfriend when I was 12 that was something happened there. And then I had a girlfriend in college, and I still was having all these feelings for guys. And so I'm like, I need to like really have a true experience with men. And after I did that, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm bisexual. I like both. And that was like the most refreshing thing ever, knowing for sure. Like I've had the experiences, I know in my brain what's I'm feeling, and that was like a breath of fresh air. So
And
but
where you live, it's okay to be bisexual. You see, like around, to see that people can be themselves. They are kind of people that can be open up about themselves. Or how do you see it?
yeah, I know once I admitted to myself that was great, but then I had a lot of struggles with society because
Mhm.
when I came out, that was like 20 years ago now, almost, it seems like, uh maybe 15, but it was a totally different time then. It was because now it's almost like hip to be bisexual. Everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm fluid, but there was a lot of stigmas back then, even more, where like, oh, you're just gay, this is just a stepping stone. I've had a lot, most of the backlash was from gay guys who just didn't accept it or didn't believe it, and that was hard. So uh but I know I didn't have a big grand coming out. I made a video called "Shit Bisexual Guys Say." That was like my official formal coming out, and I just kind of posted that and let people ran with it. My mom actually asked me one time. She's like, "What are you anyway?" Because she didn't know. She'd seen me with women. She had seen the girlfriends, but she knows that I was kind of like always doing this gay stuff too. So I'm like, I just told her, and she's like, I'm bisexual. She's like, oh, okay. And that was really the extent of it. I didn't have any big coming out. It was just like really casual. uh, my dad is actually gay. Um, and so I know when he came out when I was in high school, I was kind of mad because I'm like, well, now I can't come out because I want to be compared to you, and I want to be my own person. I don't want to be like you. I want to be. It's a very Goofy movie to me. I think of Goofy movie, Goofy and Max. So I was like, no, I'm the cool one. I want to be my own person. Ugh. So but it's all good. It's just kind of cool.
Very good. Next question is, what does money mean to you?
Money. I guess it just means it provides stability and the ability to live in the world that you're in. It's not the most important thing. It's a tool. So yeah, I guess just finding the proper relationship with money can be a struggle. You don't want to be too much of a hoarder, but you want to make sure that you can survive too. So it's more about just finding the balance, I think, and not letting it change you.
Do you think that money can bring happiness?
I think money can't buy you love. That's a song, right? I think it can give you short-term happiness. I think it can provide you opportunities to form real happiness, like having money, you can go to outings with your family, with people you enjoy. It's a tool for creating the real happiness within the personal relationships that you have, because you can go enjoy the world, and you can go on outings, go to Disney World or do a cruise. But it's the people that you choose to take with you that are the real joy of it all.
Which person in your family you feel more close to?
I would say my younger sister, Sarah, was someone who I always really bonded with because we had kind of similar interests. We both were kind of dramatic, and we're both born around the same time. She was born October 24th. I was born October 30th. So we're like a week apart, different years, but we kind of have that same mentality a lot. We both are kind of goofy. We both have a little bit of a sultriness to us, and we just geek out all the time. It's harder as we got adults and we're grown up that we can't just have fun like we used to. We just used to do like the YouTube videos and the random like Snapchat filters and just like we're complete idiots. But we had a really great bond our entire lives.
Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, Kevin, one of the interesting thing about the Magic Box, the show, it's about me, going around the world, find a lot of communities, a lot of things that I never heard before. And witchcraft, it's a community that I never, it's funny because I never heard it before. I just been introduced to witchcraft, through interviews, like lovely people who are part of it. Are you part of the witchcraft as well, community?
Well, that's a story. Charmed kind of got me into the world, so I was well read on it since about 5th grade. I researched it, and I did consider myself Wiccan for a while because their belief system really aligned with what I was kind of feeling. I grew up in Christianity and went to private school, but I didn't really feel like that fit. But I cannot commit to being like a devout religious person, so I decided I take some of those ideologies that the pagan beliefs have and the witchcraft, like the energy and the willpower and what you manifest into the world. That's very important to me, so I consider myself kind of a spiritualist. And would probably be in that magical with a K vein, but I wouldn't consider myself like any denomination or but I could be a witch sometimes. I can do a little magic. Yeah.
Right. Next question is, where is the most exotic place have you ever been?
Exotic place? Probably Hawaii. I loved it there. It was so tropical. It was so beautiful. I was there right in the middle of February and going into the ocean, and coming from Wisconsin where it's like snow and ice in February, I was like, is this real? So that was a magical place. I would see dolphins in the water, and it was beautiful. So I would love to go back.
Tell me something about, in your opinion, what Wisconsin State stands out or something unique about the state that maybe I cannot find anywhere else in the US? Tell me something unique or interesting about Wisconsin.
We are known for our beer and our cheese. um, the cheese is really good. If you get really authentic cheese, it's amazing. I mean, cows, the farms are everywhere. I don't live in the farm area. I'm in the Milwaukee, the biggest city, but they know their dairy. That's why if you go to like a Packer game, they're all wearing the cheese heads.
Right.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
3 questions left for you. Let's do it.
Okay.
Next question is, what is the scary thing that happened to you?
Oh my gosh. Oh, the scariest thing. I mean, it kind of already happened with the mom thing. That was hard. But if you want to, I don't know. Oh, I was afraid for my dad too. I was afraid that my dad would go to jail and be killed in prison. That was really scary for me because I wasn't sure how other people would react to the charges, even though they're completely unjustified. People don't always believe that, and I was afraid that people would not like him or beat him up or whatever. So, and he's not a jail person. He's very naive. He's very shy. He's very coy. So he would not survive. I was afraid of that.
Oh. What's the biggest similarity between you and your dad and the biggest difference?
The biggest similarity and difference?
Yeah.
I would say I'm definitely more comfortable talking to people and being out there and trying to, I don't know, make a statement. And I guess the similarity, my dad is very into genealogy and he's very into horoscopes, and I think that's what kind of started my astrology witchy kind of vibe, because he would have all these astrology books and I'm like, ooh, this is very interesting. And so we kind of always bonded about that.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Scorpio, just like you.
How do you know?
I've seen some of your videos before.
Oh. Which day are you?
I'm October 30th, so the day before Halloween. I'm the Scorpio 1, the first week of Scorpio, the week of intensity.
That's why we are very intense. Scorpio, they are all over the place.
Yeah.
You agree that the downside of Scorpio is about being possessive, is about being controlling. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's that's something that if I could change, the older you get, you work on it and you get better, but still there. It's still there. When you start feeling, you just get blind. You don't see straight, you just go straight to the point and explode.
There's something I read, there's like different stages of Scorpio, so like there's different like animal associations, and I think because it starts from like a scorpion and then it moves to like an eagle. You like evolve into some kind of flying bird, phoenix-y like stuff, so it's fun.
Or something that I find out not long ago at Scorpio, we are very intuitive. Intuition.
Oh yeah,
I
we're a
didn't know
water
that.
sign. Yeah, very emotional.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and it makes a lot of sense. We have this way of intuition that we kind of feel it somehow. We know it, and very interesting. Another Scorpio to the channel.
Yeah. Woot, woot.
2 questions left. Let's do it. Before the next question, in the beginning you mentioned about that you do adult content as well, or just modern? Do you? Are you okay to talk about?
Of course. Yeah, I'm open.
Tell me how everything started, when the idea came along.
Okay, so this is fun. All right. So I'm Scorpio, we're a very sexual kind of sign, aren't we?
That's very. That's so true.
Yeah. And I consider myself kind of an exhibitionist. I like showing off. I like turning people on. So I had a Tumblr, and I would just post like naked pictures and nude stuff all the time, and it was fun. I have grown quite a following doing that, but then people would steal the pictures, they would catfish them, or they would make fake profiles. And I'm like, it's inevitable when people see that, but I was getting very annoyed because it was happening like every week. There was a new profile somewhere, and I'm like, well, if people are going to be stealing my pictures, I might as well be getting paid for it. And so that's when I decided to do the OnlyFans. And I would just make content and just post my wacky adventures and do my thing. And it was good. It was successful, and it helped me feel good about what I'm doing, helped me become stable. And I just have a lot of fun. I recently made my Just for Fans now too, so I have both of those because I think it's better just to like get everywhere, do all the things, and it's been great. It's been fun.
Do usually do you collaborate with other people as well, or just post pictures of yourself?
It's a lot of me, but I do collaborate when I can. I've been doing more collaborations lately, so it's just kind of where the wind blows. If I'm traveling, I try to meet up with people or try to schedule photographers and other content creators and make things happen.
And how often do you post some content on your page?
It used to be very sporadic because I get so busy with my day job and podcasting too. But now I try to at least post once a week, so there's something there to keep people, get their money's worth.
Amazing. All right.
Yeah.
Next question is, what is the funniest gift have you ever received?
The funnest gift. Oh, okay. I know I really loved when I got my Super Nintendo back in like 1995. That was great, and that lasted for many, many years. I would say I feel like I want something to be more physical though, because video games are just like video games. Probably. Oh, I know. When I got this is when they were brand new, the shoe skates. Because now there's Heelys and there's rollerblades and all this stuff, but the shoe skates were like this thick on the sole, and you had the wheel that popped in and out, and I thought they were the coolest thing. I got a pair, my sister got a pair, and I would like wear them to school. And I'm like, no one knows I'm wearing skates under my shoes, and then I would like skate down the hallway in secret, and then I would get in trouble, and it was fine. But I had so much fun. I thought it was the coolest kid wearing those things.
Tell me something, Kevin. Talking to you, and I can see that you are very, spontaneous. You're, very talkative. You talk easily. Tell me, what's the best part of being yourself? When you think about you, what do you like the most about being Kevin?
Yeah, I consider myself very eclectic, but I embrace every side of me, every part of me, the dorkiness, the awkwardness, the silliness, the just complete nerddom, because I think there's a time where that wasn't cool. Now it's like the cool thing, but I try not to let things get to me too much. And yes, I do get in my head. I do compare myself to others sometimes, which I try not to do, but I think that's a natural human characteristic. But I just try to let it all go, breathe, and just enjoy the moment. And that's something that I'm very proud of. I think being honest, being open, allows people to feel comfortable with me too. And that's why I think people follow my journey. They enjoy the things I post. They find the things that they connect with, the things that we share in common. And we just like really vibe off each other. And I'm happy that I can really adapt and get in tune with all kinds of people and hear their stories. And that's always fun for me.
That's what I call being approachable.
Yes.
Ready for the last one?
Yes.
Last question. Let's do it. Before the last question, tell me, doing your podcast, what was the most difficult part for you to start, for you during the journey? You found more difficult, for you to get it? And tell me, what do you like the most about doing it? What's the biggest joy of it?
Sure. Okay. And actually I have two podcasts now. The first, when I started, I actually had 3 for a while. I started mine, and a friend asked me to be a co-host on his at the same time. But the hardest part, I think, was the technical side of it, and like how to structure it so that you don't ramble or get into weird tangents that aren't entertaining enough. But I remember my very first episode had my friend James Mansfield, who's was just on Drag Race again, All Stars. But they were on my very first episode, and I had a microphone that I thought was good, and it was horrible microphone, and the quality of my recording was so embarrassing. I was like, no, it's the first episode. People are gonna hate me. But it worked out. I muddled through, and now I'm just having so much fun. What was the second part of the question? The most enjoyable part?
What was the biggest joy for you of when you are doing your podcast?
Yeah, the biggest joy is getting to poke fun of it, but also find the true meaning of the content, because there are some really profound emotional beats in these comics that I start crying about, and I love to like analyze and see what this means emotionally. But then there's also like the really silly things and the funny parallels, the funny references that would just crack us up. So I love that we can do the whole range of emotions, the whole scope of emotion, and be a little educational. Yeah, I learn things every time I do a podcast, so that's wonderful too.
Amazing. Last question is, do you have any pet peeves?
Yes. There's two that come to mind right away.
Right.
One is people who litter.
Oh, yeah.
People who blatantly, they know they're littering, they just throw it on the ground. I'm like, how like that person, I don't trust. I think they're just evil in life. If you litter, like, just go to a garbage can, put it in your pocket or your bag, and wait till you can find a garbage. So that drives me nuts. Also, if you're driving, people who don't use their blinker on the road, I'm like, just if you're gonna switch lanes, use your signal. That's it.
You said about glittering. One of the things that my biggest pet peeves as well, when I'm in the train or the subway, the tube, when you sit down, there's like one seat in front of the other, and people put their feet there. Like, oh my goodness, seriously, when I go in and I look at it, I go like, okay, William, don't look, and I can't. The person who's there, I give this look like this, and I look
the jet stare, the Luigi jet stare. Yeah.
And sometimes, do you know what I've done already? I went, I said, excuse me, can I sit here? And they took off their shoes, and I kind of clean, and I sat down in front of them, and I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I thought, I've done that before, because for me,
and they go like this, they go, they roll their eyes at you. How dare you?
Yeah, and that's one of my biggest fun as well. And sometimes as well, I find my pocket sometimes like something that I eat, I don't find anywhere to put, just put in my pocket. And sometimes I find things there. I'm like, oh, it's here still. Mm-hmm. Anyway, hopefully people watching now the interview, they're gonna go like, oh, that's a good thing to do if I don't find any place to throw my garbage or anything. Yeah. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Oh my gosh.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like. Don't forget to share this video. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with money.
Green.
Family.
Love.
One word for life.
Energy.
Sex.
Hot.
Love.
Kindness.
Politics.
Frustrating.
Religion.
Oh. Personal.
Fear.
Significant.
Friendship.
Joy.
Desire.
Steamy.
Regrets.
Oh, that's a regret. Okay. Sad.
Success.
Special.
Wish.
Dream.
One word for happiness.
Freedom.
One word for Wisconsin.
For Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Cheese.
One word for USA.
Oh, awful. Right now, awful.
And the last one now. Okay, I'm gonna words of the Witch podcast. One word.
Words of the Witches podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, I could use a word that's in there, but no, I want to just think different. I'm gonna say alliteration. Alliterative.
Let's pretend now we're going to meet your best friend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your best friend, what is the most beautiful thing about Kevin, and what's something that he still needs to work on, to improve on? What your best friend would say?
I would say that they would say probably my compassion is one of the best features, because I try to take a step back and look at the big picture and try to understand all sides and find the common ground. Something I need to work on is to stop getting into those funks where I doubt myself, because I feel like I'm in a good place and I'm going great, and then I go, oh man, I suck today. So I need to like just stop doing that as much.
If I would ask the same question to your lovely sister, the one you said you're very close to, would be the same answer?
She'd probably say, okay, she'd say that I'm super energetic and have really good memory. She's like, you remember everything from when we were kids. I'm like, yes, I do. So she'd say that, and then she would say that I need to work on is to stop being so secretive. She's like, you're a Scorpio, you're secretive, I know, you need to tell me things. Yeah.
Tell her that they say that Scorpio, they have two lives. The one that's what people see, what they show, what they give away, and the secret one. And it makes no sense. And it's not something that we make up. It's just what the people have this impression for us. You know what I mean?
And she's a cusp. She's a Libra Scorpio cusp. So she's she's a hybrid.
See. Let's play now, Kevin, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before that, let's play the news one more time. Let's do it. But before you ask him the question, I can see a lot of items behind you. I'm sure they are very valuable for you. Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
But
oh yeah.
Let's see if you can pick just one right now, just like your favorite or something like that you are very connected with. Could be anything behind. Which one would be and why?
I mean, yeah. You want me to go grab it?
If you can. If not, just can show or point or.
I can grab it. It's
okay.
It's just the staple. Everyone's gonna pick this one, but it's fine. I'll just grab it.
Okay.
There we go. It's the Book of Shadows. This way down. Everybody who's a fan of the show of Charmed, this is like probably like the most prized possession. Because it's the heart of the show, and it's just like a full replica, all the pages.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there's anything that you want to see. Any special page? It's so bright. My light is so reflective.
Okay, so you know what? Close the book and open any page, like for the moment, for us, like to mark this moment that we are having right now.
Let me do the first page, because that's like
okay.
People know it. The Book of Shadows.
Very good. Actually,
yeah.
I when I was talking to you, I could spot it behind you of like, this very pristine book there.
Yeah.
Good. You can ask me a question now.
Okay. If you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Wow. Good question. I'll tell you something. I love animals. I think it's it's a therapy. Spend time with animals. You know what I've learned the other day that I never thought about? I had a lovely guest on the show a few months ago, and he said something that I never thought about. He said that dogs or animals, they don't live, they live just in the present. They don't live in the past. They don't live in the
Yeah.
future. I never thought about that, and actually, it's so true. Because when you see the dogs like jumping around, they're always having fun. They're always there. Um, I would say the first thing I could be a lot of so many animals, but I'm gonna say a dog right now because the first one came to my mind was a dog.
Okay.
I don't have a dog, and we have a cat, beautiful cats. But I think I would like to be a dog since I find out that because it's so true. I think nowadays, or we tend to live the past, sometimes the future. It's a tendency of us. No, all of us we
Yeah.
have this tendency. And when I find out that, when I learned that, I never heard that before, I never realized that before, I just felt, my goodness, it makes so sense about the dogs because they are, when you go to the park, I remember during the COVID crisis, you could leave the house once a day for exercise. I don't know in the
Yeah.
US, but here in England, you could leave once a day for exercise, like for an hour. And I remember like running the park and I could see those dogs like jumping around with their owners, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh my God, what a beautiful therapy to be watching those dogs happy all the time. You know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
I think I would love to be a dog, just to experience how it is just to live the present. Do you know what I mean? It would be amazing to be able to somehow manage that because I think all of us, we still gonna have a moment in our lives where we're gonna for some reason live in the past, for other reason live in the future. It's a tendency, something natural for us. But I think I'd love to be a dog just for
Just carefree. Pure joy.
just to have the joy of living the moment. It would be amazing to have this superpower of just living the moment. Good question.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the interview, Kevin?
I did. This was great.
Thanks so much. Thanks for being kind. Thanks for being sweet as well. We accept the invitation. Thanks so much. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I believe you asked me for a quote, and I actually was trying to choose between two quotes, so I'll leave both of them.
Okay.
The first one is a Trump quote.
Mhm.
The wrong thing done for the right reason is still the wrong thing.
Good one.
Because we so often fall into those funks where we want to get revenge or payback, or we can justify the good that this action will do. But if there's any kind of maliciousness or any kind of attempt to put someone else down, that's going to be a wrong thing. And even if they've wronged you, it's harder to take the high ground.
I love that, actually. I love that. Good one.
Yeah. And then my second one is Winnie the Pooh quote. And this is something that I like to, kind of an affirmation for myself.
Okay.
You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. So always know that there's more to you than meets the eye, and there's ways to grow and be better than today. So
I love that as well. And keep exploring yourself, keeping, try to get the best of yourself. As you said, there are so many good things about us that we don't know, we never explore, or never kind of went there for some reason. Try to explore yourself to keep going, that there are so beautiful things that, as you said, there are so many things that we don't realize that for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and keep in touch.
Thank you. Oh yeah, we'll be in touch for sure.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.